Yes, people, welcome to Normski TV. And today I'm going to present to you the Matrix conversation. I'm going to be presenting to you today the Matrix conversation. You know, it's been kind of running through my mind, and I thought, yeah, you know, when you hear certain statements coming out from certain avenues, from certain people, managers, pundits, you have to ask the question, are these guys tapped into the Arteta matrix? And people, this is no joke now. This is no joke time now. Yeah, this is no joke time. We've just seen Tottenham, Man United making a final. And a lot of people will turn around and say, oh, it's only a Europa League Cup. But at least they're in the final. What have Arsenal done? Oh yes, we went out to PSG. We went out to PSG. Our second semi-final. Yeah, our second semi-final. And we go out to PSG. So guys, I thought I'd do this little short, whatever you want to call it, show, just highlighting what the Matrix is all about. If you didn't know what the Matrix is or what it was about, many of you would have seen the film The Matrix, released in 1999. But you know what, I don't want to get it wrong in terms of the definition of the Matrix. So, you know, I have a number of tabs opened on my other device where I can look properly at really what does the definition of the Matrix mean. And people, let me just read this to you. The cultural, social, or political environment in which something develops. Let me read that again. The cultural, social, or political environment in which something develops. Let me stop there. Let me just stop there. The culture. We've heard about culture, don't we? We hear that from Arteta a lot, culture. We say that this guy can be a politician. And we know that this madness is developing amongst our fans. Fans that latch on and are tapped into the Arteta matrix. This is what they want to see happen. They want to see develop. And unfortunately, the narratives that are coming out, and we all know what the narratives are, that this manager, if you speak out against him, then you get shut down. You get shut down because me, looking like Morpheus right now, because I'm standing for standards, yeah? We all know who the characters are: Neo, Trinity, yeah? There's Neo, there's Trinity, there's the Morpheus, and there's the agents. Also, let's not forget the Sentinels, yeah? The Arteta Sentinels. Because when them man start coming for you, coming for the machine, yeah, to try and tap into our neuros. You might think I'm going mad here, bro. But listen, it's crazy how this is all developed under this manager. A manager that cannot do wrong. A manager that has all the excuses you can think of. A manager that is just so good with words and bamboozles you with, you know, theories and philosophies. And you have people that are sucked into all of this. journalists, people going into his press conferences, pundits being sucked into it, maybe for the money, maybe to get that gig, who knows. And lastly, the fans that believe that this guy can get us over the line. Yes, let him go for another season. Give him the money that he needs to build the squad for next season. What has he done in the last 5 to 6 years? £750 million spent, if not more, on a squad of, 31 players. And out of those 31 players, people, it's a very hot day today as well, so I'm sweating. Out of those 31 players, I could maybe count on one hand who I think, he's probably progressed them. Other than that, the players that have come in, injury prone, not good enough for this side. We look at the summer, we saw what happened there. We saw what happened in the January transfer window. Is that the owner's fault? No. The owners backed him with money. They have been backing this guy. He's the most backed manager out of all the managers that you can think of that have managed this club, this great club. He's been backed the most. And yet he gives us 2 8th place finishes, a 5th place finish where he bottles top 4. 2 second places where he bottles second place. And within 2 points last season. And now this season, we're clearly 15 points off of the top. Drawn 13 games. Dropped 21 points from winning positions. But yet, the mutants, the Sentinels, they want more. They want to give this guy another year, give him the money, give him another 250, 300 mil so that he can build his own team. But we all know the narrative. It's going to move on to Berta, Big Berta. You know how I feel about Berta. He's my man. He's got a lot of work cut out. He's got a lot of work cut out, people. And I've got a number of tabs open that, I kind of want to sort of address. And this is the Matrix conversation. This is going to be the title of my video, the Matrix Convo. Yeah. And as to why we are giving this manager more time when we need to get over the line. This guy cannot get us over the line. And we know the characters. Neo, he's the one that was going to try and go in there. He was a hacker. He's going to try and go in there and try and sort out what's going on. What's going on with this club. Who's Neo? Who would Neo be? Who would Neo be? If it was one of the content creators, who would Neo be? Listen, guys, put it in the comments. Who do you think Neo would be? Who do you think Morpheus would be? Who do you think Trinity would be? And who do you think the Sentinels and the agents? Name some of the agents that back this manager, that try to chase us down, try to chase down Neo because we're trying to get into the system. We know about the red pill and we know about the blue pill, don't we? Which one you're going to take? Do you want reality or do you want to go into this mad world? The blue pill is what takes you into the Matrix. Enough man out there have taken the blue pill. I say no more of that. But people, I want to try and keep this video as short as possible. But sometimes you have to just go with the flow. And I think I'm going to do these videos randomly. So look out for these random Matrix conversations to come up on your feed. Check them out. Comment. Tell me if I'm speaking facts or am I speaking rubbish. Because what I see amongst our fan base, what I see in terms of how the pundits, certain pundits, I won't call their names, but you know who the pundits are. Again, put it in the comments. You know who the pundits are. You know who the content creators are. You know who the journalists are. Yeah, that are sucking up to this manager, a manager that cannot do wrong. And I want to address two things that was said this week, especially the game after the PSG game. And I want to address us going out to PSG. Yes, we had those first 20 minutes, but after that, we didn't have any idea, or Mikel didn't have any idea how to change it. Bringing on two defenders to try and win a game. That's the tactics that this manager brings. Hanging out Lewis Skelly to dry. Ethan Van Murray doing him a disservice. We need to win the game, and you bring on Ben White. And you bring on Calafiori, the horse, who we haven't seen for about 2 months, over Ethan Van Murray, who, when at the time when we lost Odegaard, you should have brought him, and it took you only when Saka went out injured that you brought him in. And then when he did come in, he did perform. Now all of a sudden Saka's back. He's chucked on the scrap heap. Views called this out. Views Sport called this out. A number of content creators called this out. And now we're seeing it. We're seeing it in action. We're seeing it in action. But look, this is what's going to happen. When I heard madness coming out from the Arteta Matrix, I will address it. It won't be every day, but when I feel that I need to kind of run things through our mind, then just get an idea of how these people are thinking and why they're thinking like this, then we need to address it. You know, you've got the likes of people saying that, well, you know, Arteta, when a team wins, it's Arteta's. When a team loses, the players' fault. They don't understand tactics. They can only play one formation. Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this? You're paid £15 million, my man. You telling me you can't play any other tactics? You mean to say you couldn't go through at the back? And you're paid 15. You're rewarded with 15.6 million. Third highest player or manager in Europe. Inzaghi, Enrique, combined wages is 15.2 million. And yours is 15.6. And these two mans are levels above you. But what does the fan base say? Oh, who's out there? Well, I'll tell you, if you drop a 10 million at Inzaghi's feet, man, I'm sure you would come to us. You see what Luis Enrique has done with PSG. The man has been there 18 months. Last year, he lost Mbappe. He lost Messi. He lost all some top players. Gone. What does he do? He comes in there and turns that young team around. Brings in Kvaratskhelia in January. Brings him in. And turned the team around. Fortunes around. 3 domestic League Cups. 3 domestic treble last season. A domestic treble last season. And a semi-final this season. Possibly onto another treble. Not only that, he's now in a final. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to that final. 2 great managers up against each other. 2 great managers up against Inzaghi, playing with a team that has an average age of 29. 29 years old. Mkhitaryan, 36, older midfielder. Dumfries, look what the man's doing now. Unbelievable. Martinez, Latario, look what he's doing. Man is not frightened to bring their man off. Man is not frightened to change it up mid-game to get the win. But what are we doing? What's Mikel doing? Yeah, man. The Matrix is real. The Arteta matrix is real, and we're here to pull people out of that. It's going to take time. Yeah, it's going to take time to unplug them, because every time the narrative is pushed out in press conferences, you see it on YouTube, you see it from top journalists with their own channels, injuries, refereeing decisions, talking about how Liverpool were lucky because they didn't have any injuries, downplaying their performance for this season, winning at a canter. Winning at a canter. Whilst us, Man City, who have probably had their worst season, is in an FA Cup final, probably likely to win it. Only 3 points behind us. And one more game than us. How bad is that? How mad is that? People had us as favourites to win the league this season. But what are the Sentinels going to say? What are the agents going to say? The Mikel Arteta agents, what are they going to say? Oh, we got to a semi-final. We tried our best. And we go again next year, FC. Yeah, because we've progressed from playing in the quarterfinals where we lost to Bayern Munich, where we bottled it. And now we're in the semi-finals. And they're going to say that's progress. Look at the league. 38 games. That's your bread and butter. Yeah? The Champions League is a toss of a coin. And let me bring up the Champions League. Let's go to that. Let's go to that. And let me just find what this man said, basically. Because I don't want to misquote him, all right? I don't want to misquote him. Because after going out and losing 3-1 on aggregate, let me take off the glasses. Losing 3-1 on aggregate, yes, first 20 minutes, we dominated. And that's when we should have taken our chances. But we didn't have a clinical striker to do that. Martinelli should have scored. Declan Rice should have scored. Saka, obviously, kind of turned up in the second half. When I say turned up, didn't really play well in the entirety of the game. Arteta keeps it on, he bundles a goal, gets a lucky goal. Could have maybe made things a bit different if we had, come on the end of that Trossard cross. I think it was a Trossard cross. I can't remember. It might be Trossard or Martinelli. But either way, I think it was Trossard. Either way, we don't do it. We don't do it. But anyway, after the match, he was obviously questioned and interviewed by a number of journalists. And I think it was Anita from CBS. I think it was Anita. If it wasn't CBS, I'm not too sure. But she asked him a question of just asking about the game, and he then kind of said basically that Arsenal were the better team over the 180 minutes. Of those 180 minutes, 160 minutes, we were the better team. She did. It's like that she didn't hear. He's like, he kind of went on to say something else. And she said, let me just pull it back. Can you just say what you just said again? You're saying that you was the better... Listen, I'm just kind of paraphrasing here. You're saying that you was the better team. Interesting. So, not only is that, you're saying you was the better team in Europe. Or the best team in Europe. Well, I only see two teams that are not English. Inter Milan and PSG. So if you are the best team in Europe, why are you not in the final? Maybe because you can't get it over the line. That's probably why. But I know you're going to say, it was unprecedented with the injuries that we have. We use all these little buzzwords to get into the minds of those journalists, to get into the minds of those top content creators. I ain't gonna say their names, but you know who I'm talking. And they will hang on every word this guy says. But let me say this, yeah. Mikel Arteta says Arsenal were the best. I'm going to read it word for word. Team in the Champions League this season, despite losing their semi-finals to Paris Saint-Germain. They went to the Parc des Princes, needing to turn around a 1-0 lead. Yeah, phone decided to overeat people and it switched off on me whilst I was in the middle of the conversation. But we carry on. We carry on this conversation. As I said, they went to overturn a 1-0 lead at the Parc des Princes. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. And we lose that game. As I said, we lose that game 3-1 on aggregate. But it's just what Mikel Arteta says in terms of, he says, I'm very proud of the players. 100%. I don't think there's been a better team than Arsenal. These are his words, quote unquote. In the competition from what I have seen. Okay. This competition is about the boxes. And in both boxes are the strikers and the goalkeepers. And theirs was the best in both games. So essentially what he's saying, over the 180 or 100 and whatever minutes it was, 180 minutes that we played, because we couldn't take it to extra time. So 2 90-minute games. Essentially, PSG were only good for 10 minutes in probably the first leg and 10 minutes in the second leg. Well, I fell or beg to differ. Yeah. Their MVP, according to him, was the goalkeeper. It was the goalkeeper that saved this team. Now, people want to say, that, oh yeah, we beat them in the group stages. That was a totally different PSG. PSG that finished 15th and now sitting in the final. And you're telling me, and the team that they had to overcome, the team that they beat, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and you're telling me, that Arsenal, Arteta, was the best team in Europe. How crazy is that? But this is what is spewed out, and this is coming from the main man himself. This is coming from Mikel Arteta, the main man who operates that matrix with precision, saying the right buzzwords, tapping into those neurological senses of people that hang on to every word this guy says. Let's face it, Mikel, talk truth and stop talking like you're in your own reality. Because in your world, in your head, you might think you are the best manager in the world. And well, if that's what gets your goat, then that's what it is. And there's a lot of people that think that actually he's probably one of the best managers in the world or coaches in the world. Arteta is an okay coach, but he can't take this squad to the next level. I'll tell you, if Inzaghi took over this squad, we would go further. As I said, look at the players that Inzaghi's got. And if he was to take over this talented side, he would take us further in the competition. He would win us trophies. He would get us over the line. This guy has been in managerial for a long time. He's been in there for a long time. He has the experience, the know-how, and something that Mikel Arteta has not. He hasn't cut his cloth at any other team apart from being Pep's cone man. But has he really gone and cut his cloth and managed a team? No. the owners felt that this was the guy in 2019 to come in and try take this team to the next level. It's not as easy as what you think. Yes, it will come in at the gift of the gab, came and said, I'm going to change the structure. I'm going to change the whole culture of the club. Yeah. He said, I'm going to change the culture of the club. That was his buzzwords coming in. And I'm going to tell you this now. I remember at the very beginning when he first came in, I was nearly caught out. But lucky I had my tin hat on. Because I remember in one training session, you know, Lacazette had this way of, when he picked up a ball, he'd like to, you know, kind of hold it up, but then he'd like do some silly stuff with it. And I remember in a training session, he was doing, I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know if he was trying to do a flick or whatever it was. And Mikel Arteta went, nah, stop it. That ain't happening. So a lot of people maybe looked at that. And I looked at it, I thought, oh, maybe he is the man. But I tell you what, after I see this man come in and break record after record, I said, nah. And from there on in, I was not getting pulled in to the Mikel Arteta matrix. No way, no how. I was not about to get no wool pulled over my eyes. The man won us an FA Cup. Yeah, he won us an FA Cup. You can play it. You can hear the organ playing. I'm sat right next to a church, so I had to just wind the window up. Won FA Cup with Unai Emery's men. Unai Emery has won more cups and medals than this guy, but yet people didn't want Unai. If Unai had the kind of money that this manager had, then I'll tell you what, he would definitely have won something with Arsenal. And why I say this is to say that with all the money that Mikel Arteta has had, you still cannot get us over the line. That's why you need to go. How Berta is going to do this, I don't know. But if anybody knows and can read my mind, I like cheese and I like wire. Put the two together and see what you come up with. Anyway, we move. So these are the sort of things that, you know, Mikel comes out with. And unfortunately, you know, a lot of the fans hang on to every word he says. And if you dare criticize him, mate, they want to be picking fights with you. I had one guy on my watch along, you don't mind me saying this, Todd Burge, went down to watch the game, pub, with his kids, family. And because he didn't agree and wanted Mikel Arteta gone, they took offence to that and they wanted to be turning on him, picking fight with him. He had to take his kids out the pub, quick time. But this is what it's come down to. And we're hearing how true it is. There are bust-ups in the terraces now. Is it going back to the Wenger days? Yeah, we're fighting, fans are fighting each other. I don't get to go to the games. But, you know, you speak with the likes of DJ Aaron and all them guys, they will tell you. Big up to them, big up to them. So, that's one thing. Saying that you was the better team. Yeah? This is called self-preservation mode. We know, Mikel, you're the biggest protagonist I've ever met and seen. I've not actually met you personally. And if I did, I would be taking that wig off. Tell you that now. But, saying all of that, He has, he's very stubborn. He has a very narcissistic outlook on life and how he deals with people. And, you know, he's just like, he's arrogant. He's arrogant. He's a very arrogant manager. And, you know, he doesn't give respect where it's meant to be given. You know, he talks about the Liverpool points tally. Man is talking about Liverpool's points tally and that how they could have won the league back to back because their points tally was won with 82 points, which was meant that we had won with more points last season than the season before. So therefore, we would have had back-to-back Premier Leagues. Well, first of all, the league ain't finished. There's only 35 games played. We're about to go to Liverpool on Sunday to do a guard of honour. Not only that, probably get our butts whooped. And you're coming out with things like that. Crazy. Crazy. But this is the Arteta matrix, mate. This is what's coming out. This is what's spewed out. And the last thing I want to address before I bring this to a close. Now, how true this is or not, I don't know. But when you hear fans saying that they would rather Arteta's, you know, they would rather be under an Arteta season rather than a George Graham season, or to be under Arteta's reign as opposed to George Graham's. Yeah, I'm scratching my head, people. I'm scratching my head. Right, so let's just, first of all, right, I don't know if you can see this, guys. See that? You see that? That's our George. See all them accolades? See them? 9 years with the club. 8 trophies. 8 trophies, guys. 2 league titles. A Cup Winners' Cup. 2 League Cups. And the list goes on and on. As a player, this guy has won 3 cups. The Cup Winners' Cup is won a double. 1971 against Liverpool. Yeah, FA Cup, and does the double. So even just looking at his own accolades of what he's won more than Mikel Arteta. Because Mikel Arteta has won 1 FA Cup as a player with Arsenal. 1 FA Cup. And if you want to say, or what he says, no, it's actually 3. Why was it 3, Mikel? Oh, the 2 plates. Okay. While you're in there, I'll chuck a few spoons in as well, yeah? You cannot compare, and you look at the players that have played under George Graham. Rocky, Merson, Ian Wright. These are top players that have played under George Graham. And you're telling me that you would rather an Arteta reign rather than a George Graham reign? You guys, it's either you're trolling or you haven't done your history. Because if you think finishing second place twice, getting to a semi-final, that is progression, and that you enjoy the journey but not the destination, and the light bulbs, and playing You Never Walk Alone, all of these mad things that this guy does, then bro, you're certainly tapped into the matrix. You're certainly tapped into the matrix. We've got a lot of work to do, people. We've got a lot of work to do. I even talked about what he won at Rangers. Yeah, I'm just talking about what he's won with Arsenal. I mean, George Graham, he's won other stuff as well. He's played for numerous amounts of clubs and whatnot. But what I would say, guys, in conclusion, is that the summer is coming. The Sentinels, the agents, want to give this manager another season. Some even want him to go to the end of his contract. Guy that's been paid 15.6 million. The narrative will be, well, Berta is in now, so he better make it work. He better make sure he hits the ground running. Why weren't they saying all this? Why don't they have all this gas for Edu and Mikel? All of a sudden now it's down to Berta. Berta's got his work cut out in terms of persuading the likes of Saliba, locking him down to another contract. Because Saliba looks at this, even though Saliba kind of dropped off a bit, but he's got his head elsewhere. If his agents are already talking to Real Madrid, then maybe he does another year with us. Berta has his work cut out, but I do believe that the guy will make it happen. I think he will make it happen, and I think he will give enough rope to Mikel. Because the question is, and I was listening to Shane Gooner this morning, and he sort of said that, you know, it's in hope that Berta will get this guy sacked. But the reality is, it might be just that we're hoping. But when Berta does get rid of the dross and brings in the required players, because it is another rebuild. It is a rebuild. Don't let anybody tell you it's not a rebuild. It's another rebuild. We need to get in the right players. And if Mikel Arteta cannot perform with these players, then Berta might be going back to the owners and say, yo, this guy ain't working. He ain't working. He hadn't worked for a few years, but he ain't working now. He's wasting your money. Because if he gets the kind of money, that would have been almost £1 billion spent in the 5 or 6 years that this man has been at the club. Because we do need to get rid of players. We need to sort out contracts and all of that. It's a massive job for Berta. Yeah, and it's not going to just happen overnight because of the mess that we've got ourselves into. But I'll tell you this now, yeah. The mutants, the Sentinels, the agents of Arteta, if next season we go in and we, by Christmas, are out of the top 4 and we're out of certain cups and we're not doing too well in the Champions League and stuff like that, what are you going to say? Is it time for him to go? Or are you going to turn and say, oh, no, you know, it's all down to Berta. He didn't bring in the right players. Because the problem with you guys is that you like to move the goalposts to suit your narrative. Whereas us, Morpheus, Neo, and as I said earlier on, guys, who do you think Neo is? Who do you think Morpheus is? You might say it's me, Morpheus. Who knows? But what I'm saying is that next season is pivotal. We're going to have to rebuild again and go again. Because we didn't do anything this season. We've totally regressed as a club. And we've chucked away all the domestic cups that people feel it's below them. Go and win something. At the start of this season, yeah, everybody was optimistic about us winning the league because Man City had lost Rodri, so I say. So, we were the favourites, clear favourites. Well, according to at the start of the season, according to the Opta computer, Man City were the favourites. Followed by Arsenal on 12%. I ain't going to argue against the computer. We're talking about the Matrix here. and Liverpool at some ridiculous, something like 5%, something mad. By November, the machine the computer, the op said this, that November the 9th was when Liverpool officially became favourites to win the Premier League. Let me tell you this, people, we was never, ever in a title race. Don't let them fool you by saying, oh, you know, the injuries. They weren't all injured at the same time. And when Saka was injured, yeah, we was nowhere near challenging. And he got injured towards the end of December or beginning of January. Missed 3 months, 4 months. But we was never, ever in the position of challenging Liverpool at any point. We never, ever been at the top of the table. So I don't want to hear this thing of, oh, you know, refereeing decisions. Liverpool were lucky this year because they didn't have no injuries. So what happened last year with us? What happened last year with us? We didn't have many injuries, but we still couldn't get it over the line. Slot in his first phase, Champions phase, has taken over this team, bought one player, gone on and won the game. Last season, everybody told us that, oh, Liverpool, who finished 7 points off of us, has now got a 22-point swing. They finished 7 points behind us. We were the better team last season. We were better than them. But all of a sudden now they've got world-class players. Again, sentinels, agents, moving the goalposts. This is what we have to deal with, people. This is what we have to deal with. But me and all those people that want the standards for this club, we will continue to say as it is. Our mouths will not be shut. We will go in there. We will hack the system and get those people that are tapped in there, because there's enough of them in there that are being tapped up. Yeah, enough of them. We need to get them out. I don't know what it's going to take to change the minds of this fan base, but I'll tell you what, it's going to probably take an almighty fall for this guy. Yeah, for the fan base to turn around. You'll probably start seeing empty seats and whatnot. Right? I'm hearing for the Newcastle game, the tickets that went on full sale are now back on ticket exchange. So what does that tell you? The fans are losing faith in this guy, but they won't say out, yeah, because it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's what's current, yeah. It's what's current. It's what's fashionable, and so you move with the trend, and that's what it is. And unfortunately, we are the minority, but we're going to say it as it is, because we've seen our club back in 2004 go invincible. We've seen in 1989 where we went to Liverpool and done the unthinkable. 1971, double. All of these things. I want to see us lifting trophies again. Yeah? And I don't care what kind of trophy it is. Let's get the winning mentality back to this club. And let's stop making excuses. Yeah, I've heard enough of the excuses, the moving of the goalposts. It's now time for us to hack the system. Yeah, and we will be hacking the system. Listen, people, I know it's been a bit of a long one. I'm going to have to cut the two videos together, because obviously at the start of it, I think it was 19 minutes in, it cut out because it overheated. So forgive me, but people, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe on that little road to 1K. And every now and again, I will be having these matrix conversations. So if anything comes in out of the blue, which it does always come in, I will be talking about it. It may be a medium length video, or it might be a short one. Let's see. But people, hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new, and I'll see you on the next matrix conversation. Take care and God bless.